All right. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, you know what it is. Well, I just want to stop by real quick just to put something out there, just drop it like it's hot, because it is what it is. And it's very interesting to me, it can't get away from it, Egypt. And throughout the Bible, even in Genesis, we go throughout the Bible and Egypt keeps coming up. And we know the children of Israel, even before the 12 tribes of Jacob, even before his name was changed, we have the flood story, and way before that we got Adam, the first man, Adam, and then woman is, created, took it out of the side of man, and we see all this taking place, and then the fall of man, where Adam violates, sin is transgression against the law, and he ate of the forbidden. And then we come on down, and we go through so much, and then we get with Noah, and his family, and the flood, and then the ark landing on the mountain of Ararat. We get a lot of this. And then when we come with Abraham, and Sarah, and the name change, Abraham, Sarah, and we see two accounts. And one place where Abraham comes down in Egypt, and he tells his wife, say that you my sister, and in fear of his life or what have you, and different things. And then we see it again with Abimelech, and so we see a lot of stuff going on. And then we see where he ends up in Egypt, and then we come along, and then even we're getting to Jacob, and then with Joseph down in Egypt, and then we see the situation with Moses, and even when it comes to Yeshua, and even when Joseph was told, by the angel, and even in a vision, and Mary, to flee, because Herod, was after the child, and, they're in Egypt. And so, we keep seeing this come up. But even when we look at the account with Joseph and the interpretation of the dream Pharaoh had, he couldn't rest, and God gives Joseph the interpretation. He understood agriculture and the 7 good years versus the 7 bad years, and storing up in 7 good, that they wasn't affected by 7 bad. And then we realized that every other place, the people had to all come down to Egypt. Egypt had the resources at this time of famine. And then even when it comes to, with Moses, and even with the killing of the firstborn, and Moses' mother puts him in a basket, and the sister watching from afar off, and then Moses get discovered, by Pharaoh's sister, and raises Moses up as her own child under the custom of the Egyptians. But a time come now, Moses is going through, and and he's coming through this struggle, and all of a sudden, it gets even more of a great thirst and hunger, of the Hebrew children, and coming into his identity. And then even when it gets to a point where 2 Hebrews are being ridiculed by the oppression of an Egyptian, and Moses murdered that Egyptian. And then it comes back, and the 2 Hebrew men are in an encounter, altercation, and Moses gets in the middle, and to defend the both of them. And then they bring up, what are you going to murder us like the Egyptians? And now we see Moses is exiled, fleeing, and in his fleeing and even exile, he comes to, he finds God on the mountain of Moriah, he finds God. And so now we see something, and Moses is sent back. And remember, we don't know. They could have been looking at Moses like, it's Moses guy. But Moses was always, we have this narrative, or we have this situation where it looks like Moses has a heart for the Hebrew children, and finding out that he's a Hebrew. So we see a lot of different stuff. And now, even with the situations we have in the news now, and things that are going on, we got the Kanye, Ye, and Kyrie, and then even with Shaq O'Neal, and some things getting said, and heated, beef. And then now we got the Donald Trump situation, and he's talking, running in 24. And then now we see this dinner with Donald Trump, Kanye, and we get this man that is showing up that, and oh my God, it's going to come back to me, but many of y'all know, and so, it's a lot going on. And so I just want to bring out, and bring to our attention, a lot of times we struggle because things that are beyond our reasoning, and we're trying to figure where God is and the stuff that's happening, is it God allowing this, and then with all the prophecies and the things that are yet to be fulfilled. And we know even with the Israelites, the Hebrew children, and how they had to go through the wilderness, but they was led out of Egypt, and different things of that nature. And then we see even with Yeshua and how he was down in Egypt. And he said, I called my son out of Egypt, and a lot of different things. And then if we don't really look at the Bible, understand the prophetic book and what is going on, and we a lot of us are struggling to realize where we are today. And many are struggling with their identity, trying to find out who they are, And so with all these different things, and if we would pay attention, and if we would submit ourselves under the mighty hand of God and pursue God, even David by the juniper tree and different things. And so if we don't really pursue the Most High, and, we're not going to find out, we're not going to realize or come into the fruition of these things that a lot of us are, struggling with and bound up, and a lot of our suffering, and so even with some things that's going to make many people uncomfortable, because this truth, this revelation, and many things are being revealed in this hour. I remember in the account of the epistles where the apostle says, many of the prophets, he said the prophets only dreamt to know what we know today. And they were saying this, and so look at where we at now, and the things that we are witnessing, and the things that we are realizing, and God is revealing his plan in his appointed time, and God is using whoever he chooses. And so I believe we got to be very careful how we put our mouth on different ones, and how we try to draw a conclusion for what is going on. The Bible says, judge nothing before it's time. And so, we really have to beware. And there's a lot going on. And even with right now, how they're bringing up how China, have this alert that they don't go through another COVID epidemic like they did, and even with now, Fauci, supposed to be top doctor, and things of that nature. So we have to really look at everything that's going on, because if we allow ourselves to be tricked by the smoke screen of what they want to push, and then we put our focus on this one situation, the same thing keeps happening, and they sneak something in the back door. So I just want to shout it out, and I know there's so much more to it and things of that nature, but the message overall is wake up. It's the awakening. It's time to wake up. And we have to, pay attention. Matthew 5:6 said, blessed are they which thirst and hunger after righteousness. Do hunger and thirst after righteousness, they shall be filled. This is your boy, George. And George, this is your brother, George. Oh, yeah, this is your brother. And so remember, just a little something. I just wanted to drop this out here. But it's more to come. And, we have to give it as the Most High give it to us. Not trying to blow it up more than what is being revealed at the moment. Because this ain't no competition. This ain't no clout chasing. This ain't no getting your numbers and none of that. And so I just want to give it to you as it's given to me. And so stay tuned, as God say. And God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. Look up. Wake up.